I wanted to just quickly check in with people who are here. I have been in these classes addressing my comments and my instructions to people both who are coming down onto the floor at the end of class on their backs and people who prefer not to do that. So I just wanted to get by show of hands. I don't want to be talking to a lot of people who aren't doing what I'm talking about. So are there people who do remain in their chairs? Jan, I know you do. I think I saw Jan. Is there anybody else who doesn't come down onto their backs, who doesn't want to come down to hands and knees? Please raise your hand. I'd like to know who I'm talking to. So almost everyone, and I know 3 or 4 of you have blocked your videos. If you can put into the chat that you prefer not to come down to the floor, it's perfectly okay, but I don't want to be talking to a lot of people who aren't doing that. And it looks like almost no one is doing that. Anyone at all who is not coming down to the floor? Okay, well, that really simplifies things for me as a teacher. I'm going to approach this going forward as we used to do it back in the day, live at Edgemont. And I know not all of you were there at Edgemont, but what we did there, almost everyone came down to the floor. So I'm going to approach this class based on some feedback that I got from Sandra, who I don't see yet, as if everyone's coming down to the floor. Unless I see something in the chat or somebody raising their hand and say, wait. And Jan, I saw you and I know you can adapt, right? I hope that's okay if you're not coming down. Okay, all right, with all that, I am going to mute all of you. It looks like you already are, and read just a little bit about meditation, because I've been talking about the different tools that are available to us in Yoga for Healthy Aging, and we've done a little bit, or I've talked a little bit about the physical postures. And today I'm going to talk about meditation. So what is meditation? And importantly, this is from a blog on the Yoga for Healthy Aging spots. So anybody can look at this at any time. It's pretty long. I'm going to try my best to cut it down. As many of you know, if you've either meditated a little bit in class with me, or maybe you've done it elsewhere or on your own, meditation very often focuses on the breath, right? That's probably the simplest and the most direct way that meditation is taught in the West. So this blog author says, I always wondered why we are most often taught to meditate by focusing on the breath. Obviously, as ancient yogis discovered, meditating on the breath is very effective at quieting the mind. But why is that? So this is a little bit more about the science of why we meditate on the breath. And this was based on a study done at Trinity College in Dublin. And it looked at the neurophysiological link between breathing and attention. And I'm not going to go into how it was done. It's quite complex. Even the author of this blog didn't really understand it. So I'm just going to go right to the findings. The research shows for the first time that breathing, a key element of meditation and most mindfulness practices, directly affects the levels of a natural chemical messenger in the brain called noradrenaline. This chemical messenger is released when we are challenged, curious, focused, or emotionally aroused, and if produced at the right levels, helps the brain grow new connections, like a brain fertilizer. We'd all like to fertilize our brains, right? The way we breathe, in other words, directly affects the chemistry of our brains in a way that can enhance our attention and improve our brain health. So that's one of the key findings. The other I wanted to just jump to here quickly is that, sorry, I'm not finding it, has to do with aging brains, which unfortunately many of us are facing in these days. Sorry. I'm going to do one more scan. If I don't find it, I'll skip it. Here it is. Our findings could have particular implications for research into brain aging. Brains typically lose mass as they age, but less so in the brains of, guess what, long-term meditators. More youthful brains have a reduced risk of dementia, and mindfulness techniques actually strengthen brain networks. One possible reason for this, using our breath to control the brain's natural chemical messengers, including noradrenaline, helps the brain grow new connections between cells. This study provides one more reason for everyone to boost the health of their brain using a whole range of activities, including cardio exercise, but also importantly, mindfulness meditation. Sorry, that was a bit long, but I hope that was interesting to you. I found it very interesting. It's about chemical connections in the brain. Let's go ahead and sit either on the floor or in the chairs and come to focus on our breath. What else? Just focusing the mind's attention on that natural rhythm of the breathing, following the inhalation and the exhalation, allowing the mind to rest there. Draw your hands together at your heart center. Gently press palms together, slide thumbs a little bit upward so you find your inner lift. And into this space, we will chant Om. I hope you'll join me 3 times. Breathing in. Inhaling, exhaling, replace hands to lap, allow your eyes to open, come forward towards the front of your chair, sit up nice and tall in seated mountain. We'll do just a few full body warm-ups, linking body and breath. Inhaling, lift your arms up overhead. Exhaling, bring your hands to your heart center. Let the breath, of course, be the leader here. Waiting for the inhalation, following with movement. Exhaling, release arms. We'll add a little lift of the heels. Inhaling. And heels, hands release. Exhaling. And one more time. At the top of your movement, pause, release your heels. We're going to come, into a twist. Get nice and long, really stretch and lengthen, and exhale. Twist yourself just gently to your right. Inhale, come on back up. And to your left. Inhaling. Wait for the exhale. Join with movement. Let your breath lead you through this twisting sequence. That hand in the front can come to either knee. And resting in your twist to the first side, which is to your right, pause. Turn your head opposite. Notice how that feels for your neck, and perhaps dip your chin a little bit towards the left armpit. Breathe. Lift the chin back to neutral, come to center, lift arms. And nice full exhalation, second side. Turn your head opposite. If you like the way it feels, you can dip your chin towards your armpit. Come back up to neutral, head center, arms lift, and release. Bring your arms down. We will come to stand methodically, of course. Bring your feet back towards the rungs of your chair. Hinge yourself forward with a long spine. And inhale, exhale. Bring yourself up to upright. Release your arms alongside your body and come to stand in mountain pose. Take a look down at your feet. Make sure your big toes are aligned. You can probably see yourself in your screen. You can check out whether your shoulders are in alignment. Lots of strength in the legs. Upper thighs are strongly engaged and pulling up. But most importantly, focusing on the breath. It's kind of like a little mini standing meditation, being in mountain pose. And releasing from your mountain pose, would you please take hold of your straps? I hope everyone has a strap. Mindfully reaching for your strap. If like mine, it's on the floor. And you're going to take that strap in your hands, but you're going to bring it behind you. So your palms are facing backward, and you can be wider than shoulder distance, particularly if you have any range of motion issues with your shoulders, or you can be about shoulder distance. Some of you who've done this may even want to make a direct interlace. Standing up tall in mountain pose, just the arms are going to move as we lift the belt up behind and release it back down. Keep that belt taut. Inhaling, lift. It might be a small lift away from the hips. If you've got more range of motion, it might be a little bit more, but what we're avoiding is the ribs jutting forward, just the arms and shoulders move. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, release. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, release. We're going to add chair pose. So keep the hands on the belt exactly where they are, but let the arms relax a little bit. We're just going to bend the knees, hips back into chair pose. Keep the heart a little bit lifted and come up to upright. Let's do that one more time, and then we'll put the two pieces together, sitting back, coming to upright. And now, arms lift, knees bend, and come to upright. Arms, knees, and inhale. Don't forget the breath. Linking the movement with the breath, even here, exhaling, inhaling. We'll do it one more time with a hold, bringing those arms up behind, knees bent, pause, breathe, come out at any time. And everyone, please do that now. Come to upright. And you can put your straps aside for now. Go wide, if you would please, with your legs. And bring your arms up overhead. Nice long stretch. Release the right hand down and come into a side tilt over to the right. Sweep the arm up, inhale. Exhale, second side with your breath. Side to side. One more time, so you finish off and even yourself out. And we'll take a hold, reaching up. Take hold of your right wrist with your left fingers. And come over to the side and pause in your side tilt. Feel that nice length in the entire right side body. Come on back up. Release your interlace. Take hold of the opposite wrist and pull up. Find length. Come to tilt to the other side. And inhale. Release the hold. Exhale. Float the arms down. For those of you who are using a chair, if you'd like one for a little balance and support, you can turn to face the back of the chair. If you're not using one, no need, obviously. Coming to stand, hands at the heart center. We'll move into a little bit of a flow. Inhale, lift. And exhaling, bend the knees. Hands can rest on the chair or on the thighs. And lengthen legs, lengthen spine. Bend the knees, arms out to the side. Rotate those thumbs back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling. Inhaling, some of you may be coming down a little bit deeper. You can come into a full forward fold if that's in your repertoire. And everyone bending. Inhaling, lift. And exhale, release. Last time, inhaling. Exhaling. Your forward fold, wherever that is. And inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Adding on a little bit. We're going to keep the right foot forward and step the left foot back into a lunge. So that back leg initially is straight. Use the chair if you'd like for balance, or lengthen leg, lengthen arms or arm, and bend. Lengthen and bend. This time, how about adding a bend of the back knee? So both knees are bent, and now they're both lengthening. Both are bending. Surprising how tricky this can be for balance. So feel free to hold with one hand or not. Let's come down with both knees bent again. And here's your pause. One arm or two, or neither. Release, bring your hands down, step that back foot forward, and simply switch sides. So we're starting with the more traditional lunge with the back leg lengthened. And we're lifting, straightening the legs, and releasing. Lifting, and releasing. One more time. And now adding that back knee bend. Both knees are bent. Now both legs are straight. One arm or two arms. Bending. Torso remains upright here. And lengthening. Bending one more time to lengthen. And now double knee bend. Either both arms are lifted. You know the variations. Do what's right in your own practice. Release, bring the arms down. Step both feet forward. Let's finish off our flow by sitting back. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, hands to heart. Pausing here, and this little variation on mountain pose. This is Samastahiti. Of course, focusing on your breath. Meditation is our tool of the day. Mindfulness. And releasing from the pose. We're going to come into variations on dog from the chair. So this will be chair dog either from your seat or from the back of the chair. So most of you have done this from the back of the chair. Give it a try at the seat if you feel it's appropriate for you. We want to keep the spine long. So you're hinging at the hips. You're bringing your hands down onto the chair seat, and you're stepping your feet back about a leg's length, stretching your hips back, way back. So you get that nice length in your spine, your arms are long, and you can even press your hands down more firmly into the seat or the back of your chair. If this brings you into kind of a rounded position, come to the back of the chair. It might be more appropriate for taller people especially. Feel free to lengthen your legs and then bend. Lengthen your legs. Exhaling, bend. We're going to do this one more time. Find the length. It might not be all the way to straight, depending on you. And then either from the seat of the chair or the back of the chair, if you're using it, bring yourself forward to a plank. Make sure, should have said it first, but make sure that your chair is stable on the mat and hinge back. Bent knee dog or straight. Come on forward again to your plank. And exhaling, dog. One more time. And dog, bend the knees, step your feet forward. Here we are in our chair pose again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to the heart. And we are going to come on down to hands and knees. So always an option for non-kneelers. I know some people have sensitive knees or have had knee injuries. You can take this position for hands and knees, okay? So either hands and knees or feet and hands at the chair. Please do pad your knees if you're coming down to hands and knees. And have your chair available. You might want to use it in a bit. So you can just slide it back to you when needed. Hands directly under shoulders. Some people have wrist difficulties. If that doesn't feel great for you to press palms, you can have your fists right underneath your shoulders. Your wrists are straight in that position. Or you can put your forearms on the chair. That's an option as well. Inhale. Find your table pose, long spine. Breathe and extend the left leg long behind you. Just give yourself a push back into the heel and then forward and back and forward. Coming to neutral. Lift the front arm. Lift the back leg, take a balance if you choose to or not. Both hands could be grounded. Breathe. And exhaling, release hand, release knee down to the earth. Before we come to the other side, we're going to do a little something for the hips. This can be very nice for the hips. Just lift that left knee off the ground about 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit, and then bring it out to the side. Sole of the foot up towards the sky, back down to the earth. It doesn't touch. It's kind of like a knee circle. Do that a few times. And the next time the knee comes down, you'll reverse. You'll lift, bring leg out and down. Lift, out and down. And last time, land both knees equally. Let's sit back, take the weight off our hands. You can move your hands like a conductor to take some of that tightness out of the wrists you might be experiencing. And come back to the other side. Extending opposite leg long. Just press the heel back and forward. Press the heel back. Forward, just getting a nice stretch in the calf muscle. Coming to neutral, lifting that leg, lifting opposite arm if you choose to. It might be hand down. And release, bring the hand down, bring the knee down, both knees are even. And of course, we have to do our circles to the second side. So please lift that right knee just about 1/8 of an inch off the ground. Send it out to the side, up towards the sky, release towards earth, out to the side. You can make it a little more fluid. Continuing with your knee circles. And the next time knee comes down, let's reverse, lift, out to the side, down. A few times. And release, bring the knee down. We're going to do one more thing. From hands and knees. Actually, this is why you have your chair handy. I'm certainly feeling a lot of tension in my wrist, so I'm going to bring my forearm to the chair. You can feel free to leave your hand on the earth if you're okay with that, or you can bring your forearm to the chair. And we're going to bring first side, left leg out to the side. So it's in a long line, sole pressing towards earth. Hand comes to hip, and here we go. We're opening the body, so shoulders stack, arm lifts up towards the sky. And this is with the breath. You're going to dive that arm down and twist a little bit to the other side. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, curve the arm. Stretch it in the opposite direction. Inhale, lift. One more time. And we'll hold our lift. Breathe. Enjoy that sense of opening across the front body. It's a great pose to breathe in. You've created all this space. And release. Bring your arm down. You can simply switch to the other side. I'll switch my chair so it's more visible for you. Bring your opposite leg out. Sole pressing towards earth. And forearm to chair. Hand on hip. Let's draw that top shoulder back. And inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, take it into a little twist. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling. One more time, inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, twisting. And we'll come back and take our hold. Breathe. I'm going to come take a quick look, see what I can see. You're holding the pose and continuing your breath. Yes, nice. And releasing, coming back out of the pose. Both knees down on the earth. Make your way, guess what? Back up to standing. So a nice way to do that is to bring one foot forward. Here you are in a lunge. Tuck the back toes. Other foot forward and all the way up to stand. Mountain pose. You can remove your blanket from your mat. We're going to do a little bit more standing work. Have your chair available if you would like to use it. Not necessary for this sequence. So your feet are separated about a leg's distance. Right toes towards the chair, back toes just turned in a little bit. This is for triangle preparation. And actually, if you would take your strap and place it around the back of your neck just so it's handy, or it could be on the chair, somewhere you could easily grab it for this sequence. Legs are firm as we prep for triangle. One hand comes to the hip. This is your left hand. Opposite arm is long and the palm is up. You're stretching and gliding and coming back to upright. This is the analogy, which I love, that my teacher introduced, is pizza in the oven. You're sliding that pizza into an oven and whoa, it's kind of hot, so you're coming back up and sliding the pizza into the oven. It's not down, it's sliding outward, coming back up. And last time, sliding. Now releasing arm to chair, if that's what you'd like to use, or to the inside of your leg. And opposite arm lifts. Feel that length from your base fingers to your top fingers. One long line. Straight legs. Inhale, come on up. And exhale, float the arms down. Let's do that to the other side. And then we'll use the strap in a moment. So second side, you can just switch your feet, straight legs, hands on hip, opposite arm, or the inside arm, which would be your left arm, is stretching long, pizza in the oven. Come on, back up. And stretching, lengthening. Come on, up. One more time. And let's find our hold and triangle. Might feel good for you today to be supported, forearm on chair, or arm dropping down. On this side, the support feels really good for me. You choose. And inhale all the way up. Release arms down, and let's take hold of that strap. So you're bringing the strap back behind you, and you're stretching your arms out long on the strap. And your arms are long, but there's a little bitty bend. So it's not super taut yet. What I'm going to ask you to do is to make it very taut so that your arms lengthen. So you see that difference? So here we're just kind of in long-ish arms, and here we're stretching, making the strap taut. Breathe in, and we're going to take something called suspended triangle, coming over to the side. Pull the two sides of the strap apart and breathe. Somehow, that tautness on the strap almost feels supportive to me. But if you don't like it, you could be here, you could be here. And inhale, come up. Please keep, sorry, I should have said it sooner, but keep the position of your hands on the strap. Turn all 10 toes forward. And we're going to take it to the other side. So unless you're using the chair, you can simply switch the position of your feet or step forward so that you can still have the support of the chair. Here you are, arms long, stretch that strap. Make sure you're not cocking the wrists. There's not a flexion in the wrists. The wrists are straight and you're pulling outward. And here we go to the second side. Suspended triangle. Pull outward into the two ends of the strap. Breathe. And inhale, come on back up. Exhale, release. And now you can take your hands off the strap. Twinkle your fingers around a little bit, just move them around. They might have been getting a little bit grippy on the strap. And you can put your strap aside. We'll probably use it, I'm not sure, maybe when we come to the floor. But no more strap needed for the standing work. We're going to now come to stand for our balance work today beside the chair. Breathe, be in your standing mountain pose. Shift the weight just ever so slightly onto the inside leg. You can hold on here. Bring the outside leg forward into crane, and that's the position with the knee bent and the foot flexed. Bring hand or hands to heart center and take some knee circles. This is a tricky balance, so feel free to hold. But we're taking those same knee circles that we did when we were on hands and knees, and reverse. Coming to stillness, here's your pause in what's known as crane pose. Your foot might be on the ground. or continue to lift. Not only is the foot lifted, the heart is lifted with that reminder of thumbs at sternum, and release, arms down, foot down. We'll do one more piece to this, and that will be, I'll just turn to the side so you can see. From your standing mountain, you can continue to face in the same direction. You're bringing your foot back behind you. There's a little bend in the knee, hands at the heart, and some of you will choose to lift the foot up off the earth, lift the arms up towards the sky. Breathe, hold with one hand, neither, or both. Release, bring the arms down, bring the foot down, and come, stand on the other side. Starting from mountain pose, of course, and there's that little shift over to the inside leg, bringing outside foot forward and lifting. Hand or hands at heart, knee circles. This is challenging, so don't judge yourself. Holding might be a great option here. Reversing. Coming back to crane pose, hands at heart. Your crane pose might be more grounded. And releasing, arms down, foot down to the earth. We'll take that variation. Same foot comes back behind you. You can rest it on the earth, hands at heart. If you choose to, lifting the foot up off the floor, and perhaps the arms were lengthened alongside the ears. Active foot in the back, as if you're pressing into a wall. And release, arms down, foot down. Lots going on there. Let's take a little bend in the knees. This time knees are together, and you can just swivel your hips from side to side, knees side to side, and perhaps bringing it into circles. It should feel good. Both directions, and coming up to stand. And as long as we're here with the feet together, pause, be in mountain pose with the feet together. It will feel different. Breathe. Notice what might feel different. Maybe a little less steady than when you're in a hips distance mountain. Breathe, notice, and release. Let's come on down to hands and knees one more time. So we're going to do downward dog and plank on the mat. If that's not something that you feel you'd like to do today, you continue to do it at the chair, just as we did earlier. For those of you who would like to come down to hands and knees, coming down to hands and knees, tucking your toes, bringing your hands a little bit forward of your shoulders so they're not directly under. Fingers spread wide, neutral spine. So it's long, but it's neutral. It's not arcing or rounding. Inhale. As you exhale, press into your hands. Shift your hips back, lengthen your spine, keep your knees bent. Breathe in, Breathe out and release. Come on down to hands and knees. Let's do that again. Inhale, wait for your breath. Exhale. Hips stretch back, chest towards thighs. You can experiment with lengthening your legs here. But again, it's a nice aid to be able to look in your screen and see whether you're starting to round. Since I can't see you, check out your alignment yourself. You want a long spine, perhaps long legs, or a little bend. And let's come on down. That was a long hold, knees down. We're going to shift ourselves forward into a little half plank. So this could be, for people who don't like the pressure on their wrists, this could be forearms on the chair. We're going to come forward into a little half plank. And exhaling, come on back. Inhaling, little half plank, long line from ears to knees. Come on back. And you might just continue with that. If you want to, you can do this from our mat version of dog into a full plank, which would look like, exhale, everyone do it with me who chooses to. Lifting hips, straightening the legs, come into a full plank on the mat right away. Exhaling, down dog. And remember, this could be on knees. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Now, one more time, we're going to hold our either half plank, or some of you may choose to hold your full plank. This could be at the chair, of course. Breathe. And release. Ooh, take the weight off the wrists. Take some paintbrush strokes as if you're painting a wall, letting those wrists unfurl and get some movement. And release. We are going to segue down onto our backs. And I will do this one in the chair myself, but I'll demonstrate first on my back so you can get a visual image of what's going on. So take a quick look. I'll try to be quick. You can place that blanket under your head or not. I'd recommend not using it unless you need it. We'll come to lie back. We'll draw one knee in towards the chest. And here we go. This might look familiar, some knee circles, both directions. We'll come to stillness. And we're going to extend the leg long. You can either hold on or not. Take some leg circles with a straight leg. Both directions. And from there, we'll draw in. Oh, sorry, forgot one thing. I had a pigeon in mind here. So from the straight leg, we'll cross over the knee and we'll sway from side to side. We'll pick the foot up off the earth. You can engage here with a strap or with your hands. Take some knee circles. That's a lot on one side. I hope I remember that. Replacing foot to floor, uncrossing. We'll do it on the other side and then we'll see where we are with time. So if you would please come on down to your backs for those who are doing it. For Jan and me, anybody else who prefers to remain seated, you can do this seated. But for people on the floor, just follow my voice. And everyone, soles of the feet down, knees bent. Settle yourself in. Don't worry about the sequence. Don't worry about what's coming next. Stay present with your breath. And please pick your right foot up off the earth, interlace behind your thigh. You can certainly use a strap here if you prefer. Hold on to your clothing and take some knee circles in one direction. Other leg can be bent or lengthened, and reverse your knee circles. Coming back to stillness. Now extend the leg long. And let's take that lengthened leg into circles. You can hold on behind the leg or not. People on the ground might want to have their arms in a T. Much easier, this one, on the ground than in the chair. Reverse your circles. Coming to stillness. Bend the knee. Here we are coming into our pigeon legs. Ankle over knee. Let that knee relax outward away from your torso. Floor people, picking up the foot, interlacing behind the left thigh and taking knee circles. In the chair, this might feel more appropriate. I am hearing someone maybe who joined late. I'm going to remute. And coming to stillness in your pigeon. Bring that foot back down to the earth and uncross. Ankle comes off of knee. Both feet planted, both knees bent. Find balance again. Equal weight on the two sides of the sacrum or on the two buttocks. And second side. So first thing we're going to do is pick up the left foot, draw thigh in towards chest, and take your circles of the knee in one direction, and then in the other. Coming to stillness. Extending that leg long. If you're tight in the hamstrings, there might be a little bend in the knee, but long for you, wherever that is, any height. And begin to circle that lengthened leg right from the hip socket. If you're on the ground, you might have your arms out in a T. That's very challenging in the chair. And reverse your circles. Coming to stillness, bending that lifted knee, placing ankle over knee. Oh, and I think I forgot this on the first side. We're swaying a little bit from side to side. Dropping your right knee towards the earth and then back up and over. Coming back to stillness. Now picking up the right foot, interlacing behind the thigh. Take your knee circles, or coming back to stillness. Everyone replacing the sole of the foot to the earth, that would be your right foot, and uncrossing the legs. Finding balance once again, both feet planted, both knees bent. And we're just going to finish up today with, let's do the same thing on the two sides of the body. we'll take Apanasana, an old favorite, at least of mine, I hope of yours. Place your hands on your knees. Floor people picking the feet up off the floor. And this is really all about just bending and straightening the arms, and your torso follows. Exhaling, bend the elbows, draw the thighs in close to the chest. Inhaling, keep the arms long, hands stay on knees, thighs just a little away from the body. And bending elbows, exhaling, thighs towards chest. Inhaling, knees a little bit away. And back and forth with your breath. Either take a few more cycles of Apanasana, this movement, or finish up with anything your body might be asking for right now. And eventually everyone finding their way to your stillness. Situating yourself for relaxation on the floor or in the chair. It's nice. I often see people putting calves up on a chair. That can feel really delightful for low backs. Or stretch your legs out long. Have your arms alongside the body, 6 to 8 inches from the hips at least. Not as high as shoulder distance. Palms can be facing up. Some people like to rest with their hands on their belly. That can be a very comforting position for the hands, so feel free to opt for that. And we're going to go right away into our rest. For our rest, relax your body. If there's any place in the body that's feeling a little bit tight or out of alignment, send your mind there. Make an adjustment. With your relaxed body, the breath is at a natural rhythm. And your mind here is quietly focused on the breathing. Allow your breathing to begin to grow deeper, please. Bring a little movement into the toes and the fingers, maybe the ankles and the wrists. Bending your knees, rolling over to the right. Slowly, no need to do this quickly. Bringing yourself back up to an upright position. We are going to end today with a brief meditation. So meditation is our theme. We've heard all about how meditation is good for aging brains, encouraging the creation of those network connections. Let's do a little bit of that right here and now. Sitting up tall. This could be in your chair. If you're sitting on the floor, I do recommend sitting up on some height. Your folded blanket would be great. Your arms are released alongside the body. Your elbows are bent, and adjust my camera. Your palms can be facing up or down. You can experiment and see which feels more natural for you. Elbows stay fairly close to the body. Spine is long. Close your eyes if that feels okay for you. Some people don't like the darkness in meditation, so you can keep your eyes just slit open a tiny bit, letting in a little bit of light if you prefer. And we're simply focusing, resting that busy mind on the rhythm of the breath. Very much like the way we begin most classes, but maybe the mind is just a little bit less restless after having practiced our physical yoga. And as you all know, if the mind becomes distracted, as it inevitably will, you just acknowledge that. You gently come back to rest on your breath. Yogic breathing, and especially in meditation, is through the nose. Lips are closed but not pursed. Teeth gently parted. Mind resting on breath. Please draw your hands together at your heart center, encouraging, once again, that little lift. Let's close with one Om together, breathing in. Om. One more nice full inhalation, breathing in all those benefits of yogic meditation, exhaling. Namaste. Be well, everyone. Feel free to unmute yourselves if you would like to, if you have any